Hi guys. I'm making a video today to kind of start a military channel. I'm enlisted into the Navy, and I going through the process. I kind of liked going and looking at YouTube videos from girls, especially that have been in the military, and I found some amazing videos, and I'll try to link them down below. But the thing with them was that they were kind of getting older. One of my favorites was from like 2005, and things have really changed. I mean, everything's kind of just different now. Um, Everybody that I've talked to that went in before and everybody that just came out of boot camp is just a completely different story. So I decided that um, I would kind of make these for all of those girls that are out there that kind of need some advice. Because I wish that there would have been more. Because I think YouTube is one of the best resources you can use, just because it's just a person telling you their personal experience. It's not just some information on some document about what you're doing or where you're going or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm in the Navy, but um, most branches share kind of similar things. For example, like how to do your hair or as a girl and how to do everything else. If you're a guy, you're totally welcome to watch too, but mostly I'm doing this for the girls because I feel like girls need that support and that kind of like push, and when the ratio of guys and girls in the military is kind of really off, it can be scary, not knowing when you're getting all of your information from a male recruiter who doesn't know many things about how to do things with like a girl, I guess. So yeah, so this is why I'm kind of starting these, and I've never done YouTube videos before, so I'm sorry if I kind of babble and I just kind of suck and I say too many times or whatever. But so yeah, so this is what I'm doing it. I just kind of, and also for myself, like I just kind of want to be able to look back on these and see how I've grown, how I've changed everything, because that's kind of what I want to go into the military for that change, for that growing and stuff. So I'll just kind of start off by telling you guys about myself, since if you do decide to tag along with these videos, you probably should know who you're talking to. So I am 18 years old. I'm from Idaho, and I enlisted into the military pretty like a month into being a graduate out of high school. Um, though I was thinking about it for a while. It was definitely always in my head. There was always that kind of like little idea, like what if I did that? And for a while, it was kind of like you're crazy, like no, But and I think that kind of happens with everybody. You just kind of like psych yourself out, and you're like, no, like what am I doing? Like what are you even thinking that for? Like go to college, like that's the idea. Well, once you graduate, you realize that college is really freaking expensive. My parents don't have the money saved up to pay for my college, and I want to study speech pathology, and that's a master's, which I cannot afford to get my master's. So I decided, I was kind of deciding like, what school do I go to that I can afford? At the same time, I want to go out of state. I don't want to be stuck at home. All of these things. But my main thing was that I don't feel like I'm ready for college. I don't feel like I want to go to college right now, but I want to go to college eventually. Well, and with that, I was just kind of like, well, I can just. People are like, well, you can stay and work for a year, take a year off. Okay, here's my thing about taking a year off. I, if I take a year off, I'm not going. All right, maybe I will, but by then I'll have payments to make. I'll have other stuff to pay for. College will be at the bottom of my list. If you're gonna go to college, you go to college young, and that's not for everybody. You can also, I know that there's people that go into a different job and they work a full-time job for a while, and they can afford college later on, but it's very, very difficult. If you want to go to college and you're in high school right now and you decide not to go into the military, just take all of the opportunity you have as a high schooler, because as a high schooler you get a lot more scholarships and you get a lot more benefits than once you're out and an adult and you have debt and you have all of that stuff to worry about. And, you know, so definitely if you want to go to college, just do it now that you're young. And if you're older and you want to go to college now, well, you know, that's great too. But this isn't a college video. I'm getting out of trouble. Okay. Either way, I want to go to college. I want to go to college out of state. Well, actually, I guess I don't really. Yeah, I want to go to college somewhere. I want to be on my own. I don't want to depend on my parents. And they've done enough for me. I don't need them to. I don't need to live at home. I'm 18. I want to get out there. So there was people that came to my school and they would talk about, I think, the Army, the Air Force, all this stuff. And really, like, yeah, that was like appealing, but it was also kind of like, no, like, there's no way I'm doing that. Until one of my friends' long distance boyfriend, who's in the Navy, came down to visit her. I had never met him. I had heard of him because we had gone to the same high school, but I had never met him. And he kind of talked me into looking into it. And because he said that he really enjoyed it, that it was totally like, that I could totally do it, this and that. I was very scared because I had no idea what the Navy was, but I wasn't really scared. I was more curious, I guess. And so I kind of thought about it for, like, from then on. I was kind of, like, considering it, but I never really put myself in the recruiter's office or anything. And then one of my other friends, who just got out of basic, actually, and stuff, and so he's kind of, like, helping me out. He's awesome. But we were sitting in his car. We had, like, gonna go get, like, some coffee, and he told me, like, you won't do it. And I was kind of like, why? Like, why wouldn't I do it? Like, and it kind of pissed me off. So, I guess it's kind of, I don't know if it's bad that that's the reason why I walked into a recruiter's office, but I walked out of his car and I was very upset that people thought that I couldn't do it, that people weren't believing in me. And I feel like I'm a person that can do absolutely anything if I put my mind into it, and I can do anything I want, and you can too, and anybody can. And I've seen little tiny girls in the military, and I've seen very big tough women in the military, and I was kind of like, yes, I'm not your typical freaking tough girl that lives a billion whatever. I'm just me, I guess. And I like to do yoga and I like to do my makeup and I like to feel pretty but I think that's every girl. And I was really upset that they saw me as weak because I had those characteristics, that I didn't that I wasn't like tough all the time, and or that I didn't look tough. I'm a pretty slim girl. I'm definitely not like buff or anything, but I've pushed through a lot of things, and I was really upset that he didn't believe in me. And I got out of the car, and I went in my car, and I drove to the recruiter's office. And I think I crashed almost once, but that's because I'm a terrible driver. And I drove there, and I was like, what am I doing? Like crazy. And I was like, I'm about to graduate in here in like a couple months. I was like, this is probably like not the time. And I was and I had already decided that I was going to attend a college in Twin Falls. And so I was like, what am I doing? Like, whatever. But I walked in there and I kind of told them, I was like, I don't know anything about the Navy. I was like, tell me. And I kind of told him a little bit about why I was there, and I think he kind of thought it was stupid. He kind of was like, oh, you're here because you were dared? And I was like, no, I'm not here because I was dared. I was here because I want to know if I can do this, And so he explained to me kind of what it was. Whatever. After I talked to him, I kind of knew, some people think that people join the military because they don't know what else to do with their lives. That's not my case, okay? The reason I joined the military is because I want to join the military. Because it wasn't because I was dared. It wasn't that pushed me towards it. That definitely pushed me towards it, and that definitely made me go to the recruiter's office and talk to him, but it wasn't because of that. Because there have been multiple times where I had brought it up. I brought it up to my boyfriend once at the time, and he kind of just laughed it off. And it really upset me that people thought that I couldn't do this. And so slowly and slowly, it kind of pushed me into the careers office. Once I got there, I realized that I can fucking do whatever I want to do. So yeah. So I got there, and he kind of explained to me everything that was. I wasn't sure if I was gonna join at that point either. It wasn't like, oh, sign me up. People don't think I can do it. No, it wasn't like that. It was, whatever. But I thought about it, and then I decided to go talk to other branches. I talked to the Air Force, which I think is a great branch. Also, but there's something about the Navy that just kind of pulled me in, and it wasn't the recruiter. Because straight up, I'm going to tell you, the Air Force recruiter, I liked him a lot more. He was a lot more straight up with me, a lot more honest, I felt, and he didn't sugarcoat some things, and I liked that. The Navy recruiter, I've caught him lie to me a couple times, I'm not going to lie. I don't really trust him, but there's something about the Navy that I like. And I don't know what it is, but that's kind of the branch I went with. I was debating between the two branches. So, but when I decided to go with the Navy, and I took my test, and I got my job and everything, I kind of ended up with the APAC program. And I'll talk about that in another video about my job and what it is, and if I'm sure a couple of you guys have it. Because I feel like it's a very common job they're handing out right now. And, but I'll talk about that later. So, yeah, so I kind of decided that they bothered me for months. I mean, they bugged me for months. Why? Because I'm healthy, and I'm a good freaking kid. And, yes, I do hang out with friends, and I, do whatever, I do my thing, but I am smart about my decisions. I do not have any criminal record. I don't have anything. I don't even have a tattoo on my body, mostly because my parents never even wanted me to have one. But I am a clean slate for them, and that is why they wanted me, and I knew that's why they wanted me, and and so they bugged me a lot, and I just wanted them to back the fuck up because I didn't want them in my face. I wanted to think stuff through, so I thought stuff through for a couple months. This was a big decision. I knew that. But I knew that this was the smartest decision for me because I didn't want to be at home, and I didn't want to go into debt by going to college and right away. And I didn't, and I wanted to travel, and I wanted to see the world. And what better way to do that than to serve your country? I mean, there is no better way to see the world than to serve, whether you're doing it for a religious reason or whether you're doing it for whatever reason. There is no better way to do it than to know deep down that whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you are serving. And that is just the way I think. I've always wanted to have a job like that. And so that's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the benefits. I mean, they're great, and I'm super excited about everything that I'm gonna get. But that is not why I'm joining. And there's a lot of people that join for those reasons, and that doesn't mean that they're any less of good people. Everybody has their reasons, If you decide to join the Navy, do it because you want to. Do it because this is the best decision that you can make at this time. Do not do it because you don't know what else to do with your day. You don't know what else to do with your life. Okay? You need to look into this because everybody that I've met, to be honest, and I've seen some YouTube videos where people hate it, where people just want to get out, where people blah, blah, blah. That's true. There's always going to be that one person that hates it. But, I mean, if you've had a job before, you know that people don't like their job, and then there's people that love their job. And that's kind of how I imagine the Navy. I might be wrong, but I imagine it as a job. I imagine it as a new lifestyle, and I imagine it as a thing that you're gonna make good if you want to make good. You know, I've worked the field before. That job sucks. Okay, that job freaking sucks. And you know why it sucks? Because you're working the fields. It's hot, and you are around all of these people that need money. They need money. And those are people that work their butts off. Those are people that are working hard for minimum wage. Okay? It might be a little bit above minimum wage, but they are not making enough. They are making what a teenager makes at a good, restaurant. It's not, and if I stay here, I'm going to continue to work the fields and, to make money for college, but working a whole year of that is still not going to that's not even going to pay for a semester, and it's like, so I definitely had to try to make the right decision. I know, and it was a hard decision because my friends are going to college. My best two friends, actually, are going to college here in Idaho and Boise, and that's not what they were planning. They were planning on leaving state, but then they ended up staying. If I had known they were staying, perhaps I wouldn't be joining the Navy. I would be going to school with them. But things timed out in a very interesting way. Things happened in a very interesting way to where I believe that I have to join the Navy. If you're religious, you would say that you're being called to do something. I believe in God, but I mean, I think I'm supposed to be going. My gut tells me, and I've always trusted my gut because let me tell you, my gut has never been wrong, ever. So I think that I'm meant to go to the Navy. And whether I regret this decision or not, well, that's just up to fate. But I know that if I stayed here and I didn't go, I would regret it. I would regret it more than going and hating it. And because there is nothing worse than wondering, what if I had done something? You can get over doing something. You can start over after you do something wrong. You can pick yourself back up. But how do you live your whole life wondering, what if I had done that? What if I had joined the military? What if I would have applied for that job? What if I would have auditioned for that part? And it's just kind of like, that's why I'm joining. Because I want to. Because I want to see what the Navy has to offer me mentally and in growth and in friendships that I'm going to build. And this is a job. And I might hate this job. I might freaking hate it. But I'm going to make the best out of it because that's what you do when you have a shitty job. Not that this is going to be a shitty job, but it might. I might end up having the crappiest freaking boss ever, And what am I going to do? I'm going to make the best out of it. So for all those people that didn't believe that I was going to do this and that think that I'm doing this to just take the easy way out and not have to go to college or whatever, I'm telling you this. I know that half the people I graduated with are going to college because they want to party. They're going to college because of the experience. I am not paying over $100,000 for a partying experience. And some kids are these days. They really are. Straight up, I'm telling you that right now. There are kids that don't know what they want to study. They don't know why they're going to college. They have no idea, and they'll probably drop out in a couple of years. Maybe even this next semester, because it's not what they want, because it's not what, but it's like thousands and thousands of dollars go into those colleges. I'm not doing it. I'm doing the smart thing for me. I'm doing this for myself. So, yeah, that's why I'm joining the military. Because I want to grow up. I don't want to grow old. That's not what I mean. So, don't get me wrinkles or anything. I still want to look good when I'm older, but I want to grow mentally. I want to grow, I want to be better. I want to be smarter, and I want to learn, and I want to, have my own life where I'm making my own money, and I don't have to call mommy and daddy to lend me $20 because I don't know how to go out to have dinner with my friends. We all have different stories. This doesn't mean that you have to follow what I did or what the person next to you did. But I'm saying if you're going to college because all of your friends are going to college, because it's like what everybody else is doing, I would rethink that decision. Make sure that you're going to college, or you're going into the military, or you're taking a year off, or you're doing whatever you're doing because you know yourself. You know what is best for you, and you know what's going to be better for your future. Live in the present, yes, but I am a person that always thinks about the future, and it kind of sucks me out a little bit sometimes, but it matters. It matters because the future pretty soon becomes the past. And your present can really suck if you don't make some decisions. So yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. I think this was really long. I didn't mean to go off that much. At the end of the day, if nobody watches this, at least I get to look back on it, right? And I'll make more videos talking more in depth about the military, about how to join the military, kind of everything, what to study, because some people don't tell you this, but there's a test in the boot camp, and you need to, you really need to take some tests, and you can get ranked up if you do good on those tests. So that's what I'm kind of studying for too. Kind of everything you need to know. Sometimes it's a lot easier to look at YouTube videos first before going into a recruiter's office, and it's a big choice. So I hope this kind of helped you see that even the girliest person can be strong enough. And yeah. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.